Hi, Nguyen. I'm going to make a little video to give you some feedback because it's very hard for me to mark a photograph with many comments. Normally, I would have a bunch of tools where I could highlight and stuff, but all I've got is these little tick marks. So I'm going to go through my comments, okay? So right here, well, first of all, in your final, I want to make sure that you have a full header up here, you know, your name, the date, etc. You can see the directions on the writing test 1 instructions and instruction sheet, okay? And right at the very beginning, you were supposed to introduce the source of the summary, which is, the article title is Shyness. It's by Oshima and Hogue from Writing Academic English, 4th edition. Okay, and I'm going to attach a document that was in the Canvas classroom, but I think you somehow missed. It's also part of the writing test, which gives 3 examples of how you can cite a source in your topic sentence, and I'd like you to pick one of them. Okay, so I'm going to move my comment. So basically, that's what this green mark is about. And so basically here, shyness is known as society disorder. Anxiety is one of the most common things in the world. Okay, you have a comma splice here. More than half of the population has experienced shyness in their life. You can basically just cut out everything here, okay? Cut out those first few sentences. And right here where it says shyness can be caused by biological reason or the things that happen around us, that is the main idea of the article. So that should be part of your topic sentence along with the source. Okay, now here, some people were first born. Okay, now right here you have when it says they already experienced shyness. You have 2 sentences here, and I think you put a comma, if I can see. That is called a comma splice, all right? That means you're taking 2 separate full thoughts and you're joining them together with a comma, which is not correct in English, okay? So I'm suggesting here that you fix it by saying when some people were first born, comma, they already experienced shyness, period. That way you're fixing the comma splice error that's coming here. Okay, now here, some people experienced something traumatic, and I put a tick mark because when you're talking about in general and you're talking about a fact, something that happens all the time, you don't use the past tense. It's some people experience traumatic, or how people were raised, taught, and placed where you live. Okay, so what you're doing here, and I didn't make a mark because it was too complicated, you have a list. Every time you have a list of things separated by a comma, these items in the list must be of the same form. This is called parallel structure. And you're just throwing all kinds of things together in a list. They're not the same form. So people experience something traumatic or how people were raised. These are 2 different types of taught and placed where, the list just doesn't make any sense, okay? So what I suggest is that you go back to the notes and talk about the first cause, the first environmental cause, okay, which is family, all right? And then after that, you're talking about culture. So separate these points, okay? Don't smush it all together. You know, have one sentence where you talk about family life with maybe a little example, and then make sure the example is from the original reading, and then talk about culture can also cause shyness, and then here's your example, all right? And then, okay, now again, I don't know about nowadays, culture is hardly a reason. Okay, so here you have another comma splice, so you just need to put a period there. it's not that culture is hardly a reason. I would cut that. You can just talk about how, in addition, technology can cause shyness, and then you give your explanation. And then, let's see. Okay, I think that's it. After all, there are still pros in shyness, and then you have another comma splice. Okay? So in terms of the patterns of mistakes that I'm seeing in your writing, you have a lot of this kind of error, comma splice, and you're not really following my instructions for how to write a summary point by point by point. Okay, so anyway, I hope this helps. If you have questions, you can ask, but please watch this, and I'm going to attach that document. Thank you.